Good evening. With the Ghana Learning Channel's news in capsule for Tuesday, September 21, 2021, I am Kingsley Bryan. Here's a look at some of the top stories we will be covering this evening. We'll tell you that President Ali reaffirms his commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals. He urges the international community to focus on objectives and their targets. Then we'll tell you that the second EITI multi-stakeholder group launched. Minister Barrett urges all to work in the interest of all Guyanese. Then, the Rotary and IICA partner on agri-development, scholarships and internships to form part of the project. And in news from the region, we'll tell you that 9-year-old invents first ever energy pen. Jamaica's pen is made up of tape and metal wire. And on the international scene, seized artifacts are to be used to buy vaccines, following an order from the U.S. Justice Department. And now for the news in detail. His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to advancing the United Nations General Assembly's Sustainable Development Goals, noting that his government would strive through aggressive advocacy to ensure that Agenda 2030 remains the primary guiding framework. The head of state made this declaration in a pre-recorded video presentation at the Sustainable Development Moment during the 76th United Nations General Assembly in New York. The president also noted that the country is committed to presenting its second voluntary national review in the decade of action to realize the SDGs by 2030. He used the opportunity to implore the international community to stay focused on achieving the agenda's targets and objectives. Agenda 2030 represents a framework for sustainable, inclusive, and equitable development. The Guyanese president added that although the COVID-19 pandemic has decelerated progress in achieving the goals and reversed many development gains, prior to the pandemic, the drive to attaining the SDGs was slothful and lagging. The SDGs are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Meanwhile, the second 12-member multi-stakeholder group of the Ghana Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, the EITI, was launched on Monday at the Main Street office of the Ministry of Natural Resources. The group is responsible for implementing the standard of the global EITI, ensuring Ghana's extractive sectors are managed transparently. The appointees from civil societies are Nicholas Fredericks, Larry Carroll, Gomin Camacho, and Vanda Radzik. The alternative appointees are Diane Khan, Mike McCormack, Kerry-Ann Cancinelli, and Charmaine Rambagu. The appointees from the industry are Jesus Broncalo, Ryan Ramjit, Andron Alfonso, and Rafik Khan. The alternate appointees are Joachim Voigt, Norman McLean, and Avalon Jaganandam. A fourth alternative member is yet to be nominated. Government appointees are Sonia Roopnorth, Hema Khan, Vanelda Harris, and Michael Monroe. The alternate members are Sean Johnson, Tarachand Balgobin, Martin Patab, and Shahrukh Hussain. Alternate members are there to attend MSG meetings if their respective primary members are absent. Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Vikram Barrett, charged the newly appointed multi-stakeholder group to work in the interest of all Guyanese. Minister Barrett said Ghana is quickly approaching the deadline for submission of the third EITI report. That submission is the responsibility of the new grouping. The minister noted that an extension was granted due to the COVID-19 pandemic and urged the members of the MSG to make themselves available whenever called upon. And we'll tell you now that the Rotary Club of Georgetown has joined forces with the Inter-American Institute of Cooperation and Agriculture, the IICA, in a 3-year agreement to facilitate sustainable development in Ghana's agriculture sector. The agreement was recently signed by Georgetown Rotary President Ramona Singh and IICA Country Representative Wilmot Garnett at the Georgetown Club. Singh noted that both Rotary and the IICA are organizations that share similar interests in promoting and facilitating sustainable development, especially in rural communities, with a specific focus on the vulnerable. The IICA country representative echoed similar sentiments and added that the partnership will see the rolling out of several scholarships and internships to promote sustainable development, with emphasis on facilitating access and expertise in pursuit of sustainable development in Guyana. The Rotary Club will also benefit from the direct technical cooperation from IICA in the establishment of environmentally friendly community beautification projects in the capital city. IICA is a specialized agency for agriculture of the Inter-American System that supports the efforts of member states to achieve agricultural development and rural well-being. The institute also provides cooperation services through close and permanent work with its 34 member states, addressing their needs in a timely manner. And now turning our attention to the world of sports, we'll tell you that the KKR thumps RCB by 9 wickets as the IPL 2021 heats up in Abu Dhabi. Andre Russell, Varun Chakravarti, and Lockie Ferguson shared the spoils as Calcutta Knight Riders, the KKR, beat the Royal Challengers Bangalore, or ICB, by 9 wickets in match 31 of the Vivo Indian Premier League 2021 in Abu Dhabi on Monday. After bowling out RCB for 92, KKR chased down the target with 10 overs to spare and bagged 2 points, earning them more points on the IPI international table. And that story was extracted and modified from the newsroom. And in news from the region, a 9-year-old Jamaican who attends Pembroke Hall Primary School in St. Andrews has invented what she calls an energy pen, which she now uses to operate her tablet while doing online classes. The grade 5 student, identified as Kalila Matthews, said she came up with the idea after becoming bored and subsequently directing her energy towards finding ways to pass time while waiting on her classes to start during the days. The pen, the student said, is simply made up of tape and a metal wire, and is energized when the child touches the metal with her finger. A few social media users who have heard about the development said the pen may not be an entirely new concept, but have, however, marveled at what children can accomplish when they use their spare time in positive ways. The student said since she told her friends about the pen, it has become a hit in her circle, and she has even sold one for a few bills. Talk about young entrepreneurs in the making. And that story was extracted and modified from the Caribbean News Now. And on the international scene, nearly $27 million seized from the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Theodorin Nguyema Obiang, will be spent on COVID-19 vaccines for the country, the U.S. Department of Justice said in a statement on Monday. Assets confiscated include luxury vehicles and a pair of $275,000 jewel-encrusted gloves belonging to Michael Jackson. The decision comes after a 2014 forfeiture agreement between the U.S. and Obiang, who is accused of acquiring assets in the country with ill-gotten gains, was had. Mank has since disputed the claims. The United Nations will receive $19.25 million to buy and distribute the vaccines in the Central African country, while $6.35 million will be handed over to a US-based charity for the purchase and distribution of medicines and medical supplies throughout Equatorial Guinea, the Justice Department stated. According to the settlement agreement between Obiang and the US government, the Equatorial Guinea leader was required to sell a Malibu, California mansion that he purchased for $30 million, a Ferrari automobile, and various items of Michael Jackson memorabilia, and to contribute $1 million representing the value of our property, the Department of Justice's statement said. The agreement also empowered the U.S. to keep $10.3 million of the forfeited proceeds, while the remaining funds would be spent on programs that benefit the people of Equatorial Guinea. More than 76% of the Central African country's 1.4 million people live in abject poverty, according to a report from the World Bank. And that story was extracted and modified from CNN. And that's our news broadcast for Tuesday, September 21, 2021. Please join us for a rebroadcast tomorrow morning. On behalf of myself and technical teams, thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for our regular programming. And remember to observe all the necessary precautionary methods to fight off COVID-19. We're all in this together. Have a safe evening.